I'm done with vegans. I'm absolutely done with vegans.
Hello my loves, it's a kind of sort of kitchen vlog without being a kitchen vlog. It's an elongated version of a short I did recently regarding the chef that you saw at the start there, saying I'm done with vegans, and the story, the story around it, about it, how it happened. Now, have to say from the onset, I do not agree with, nor have I ever, I don't agree with vegans mass review bombing places that one vegan has had a bad experience at. I think that's out of order. I think if that was done the other way around, vegans would be up in arms, and I think we need to be careful with stuff like that. We need to be more sensible. How this all started: a young lady wanted to go and eat at a restaurant called Fyre, F-Y-R-E, Chef John, in Australia. So she called 3 weeks in advance. I'm not sure whether it was an email or a call, but there was actual communication between the head chef and her, and he said, don't worry, we can cater to you. Like she said, I like stuff like risotto and stuff like that, and he said, we've got risotto, we've got gnocchi, you know, don't worry. So the onus now is on that chef to honour that agreement. Don't worry, I'll sort you. If you had a child who was gluten-free for health reasons, or dairy-free for health reasons, and you phoned ahead to a restaurant 3 weeks in advance and they said, don't worry, we can cater to them, and then you got there and they couldn't because they'd forgotten, whose fault would that be? It's the chef's fault. He runs a business. You can't forget that you have said you will accommodate somebody, so that when they turn up, what you end up giving them is a plate of vegetables for $32. So the young lady left a review on the Facebook page, and it said, I think it's incredibly important nowadays that restaurants can accommodate everyone, and to not be able to have actual plant-based meals shows your shortcomings as a chef. I hope to see some improvements in your menu, as I have lived in Connolly for quite some time and have seen many restaurants come and go from that building, and none of them last. If you don't get with the times, I don't hold out faith that your restaurant will be the one that does. Now, that seems to me slightly harsh but very fair. However, John hated it. So, John, who could have taken that on the chin and even apologised for the fact that he'd made a promise he didn't keep and he didn't inform any of his staff about, but he chose not to, what he did instead was respond with, thanks for your negative review. Please feel free to share your shitty experience, and I look forward to not seeing you again. How very childish. You and all your vegan mates can all go and enjoy your dishes in another venue. You are now banned. And I think that's where the backlash that he's now received from many vegans has come from. But like I said at the start, and it's important to reiterate, I do not agree with review bombing. This could have all been handled so much better. And you know, I have a bit of a view about chefs anyway, because here's the fact of the matter, you know, I haven't always lived as a vegan. I used to burn flesh and eat it too. It's the simplest thing in the world. It's one of the things that really bothers me about cooking shows, actually, like MasterChef and other kinds of shows like this guy, I think, won one. Is that the kind of judges are always like, oh, this piece of steak is perfect, and it's like, and where was the cooking skill? It's pretty much a written science that if you want your flesh bloody, you cook it for this amount of minutes on each side. If you want it less bloody, you cook it for this amount of time on each side. It's like, it's the simplest thing in the world to burn flesh and serve it to someone. And then you get all this, oh, it's an amazing cook. Why? Because they can burn flesh. You know, like, really think about it. And there's been all kinds of stuff that's gone on in the media since. Apparently his girlfriend's left him because she was sick of the backlash. But Fyre is booming, and that's because vegans review bombed it, because the world is full of vegan hate. And a lot of that comes from a lot of guilt. People don't want to think about what they're doing to animals, so it's much easier to just say, all us vegans, we're all morons, we're all idiots. One of the classic responses to the short version I did on this was, well, can I go to a vegan restaurant and ask for a piece of meat? No, because it's a vegan restaurant. It specifies that. It tells you right up front. We're a vegan restaurant. There is no animal produce here. However, when you phone a standard restaurant and speak to the chef and he says, don't worry, I can cater for you, and then he doesn't because he forgets, because he's unprofessional and, you know, like wallowing in his own ego, that becomes a problem. So then a few days later, in an Instagram post that John then shared to Facebook, he said, sadly all vegans are now banned from Fyre, in brackets, for mental health reasons. We thank you for your understanding. Now, of course, the anti-vegan crew have dove on that and they've loved it. And John's even said himself in interviews, like, they were struggling a bit with getting people in the door, and now they're full every night. Isn't that sad and a little bit sick, though? That people, oh, well, if you're anti-vegan, it's the Trump thing, isn't it? It's people flock towards each other to justify their own hatreds that they've been told are unfair. And so they flock with it. Oh, we all hate vegans and can't be wrong because we all do it together. So John's restaurant is thriving. Vegans have got even more of a bad name now because of all this. And this guy is so wrapped up in his own ego that he couldn't take a genuine criticism from someone who'd really fairly contacted him beforehand and made the arrangements, and he forgot. Charged her $32 for a plate full of vegetables, and then gets sort of really childish in his response when she leaves a fair critic saying, I hope you last there. I do. I've seen many come and go from there, and I hope that you're the one that stay. I can't see it from this vantage point, but, you know, she was giving him sound advice. And because a lot of celebrity chefs actually live inside their own arses, he took it like he did. He responded like he did. But his restaurant's thriving. His girlfriend might have left him, but his restaurant's thriving. The activists that are still going to the restaurant and being treated badly, well, of course you are. Because you're going into somebody's business. And the world isn't vegan yet. And I know we have to fight and stand up for that. We have to do what we can. But will going into a restaurant where people who are not vegan and protesting that the place that they're eating is treating animals cruelly. Of course it is. It's a non-vegan restaurant. It's serving animal flesh. The people who are there know that. How is that going to endear them to the vegan cause? At all. It's not. So maybe don't do the whole let's all go and review bomb this thing, you know. I think we've given Fyre quite enough of our time and energy, but let's end with another statement from John, shall we, before I say goodbye. Here it is.
Please go find another kebab shop somewhere that's happy to give you that plastic rubbish that you enjoy to eat so much. Go and enjoy your life somewhere else. I've worked for some of the best chefs in the world, and to be told that you're not good enough by some sort of influencer type vegan person that I'm not into the 2023s killed me.
So there you go. John is done with vegans. And John, we vegans, we're done with you. But thank you for your little story. Right, hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you all again soon. Until then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other. Bye, loves.